Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. Check out our latest Long Talk episode about how the state functions in the times of war. It's already available on all of the platforms. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 688 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak visited Kyiv yesterday. He met Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, gave a speech at the parliament, visited one of the houses heavily damaged in the recent Russian missile strikes, and wounded Ukrainian warriors in one of the hospitals, reports European Pravda. During the visit, Sunak announced that the UK will provide $3.19 billion in military aid to Ukraine in 2024-2025, an increase of $255 million in the previous 2 years. The support will include long-range missiles, air defense, artillery ammunition, and means of maritime security. At least $255 million will be spent on a major push to rapidly procure and produce thousands of military drones for Ukraine, including surveillance, long-range strike, and sea drones. When asked, the PM avoided answering the question of whether the UK allows the use of provided weapons, in particular drones, to attack military targets on the territory of Russia. One of the key moments of the visit was the signing of the UK-Ukraine Agreement on Security Cooperation. This is the first such document signed by Ukraine after the G7 nations agreed to provide Ukraine with bilateral security assurances at the NATO summit in Vilnius last year. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said that this day has already entered the history of Ukraine. He compared the document to, quote, exemplary security agreements of the 20th century between the United States and Israel and any other similar agreements, unquote. The leaders informed that the term of the agreement is 10 years with the possibility of extension. However, if Ukraine joins NATO before the end of the term, the security obligations will end and will be incorporated into the NATO system. Sunak stressed that this agreement formalizes the current security arrangements and ensures that this support is long-term so that, quote, Russia understands that we are standing with Ukraine, unquote. The UK Prime Minister also explained that there is a third component that prevents a new attack after the current war is over. Quote, if Russia attacks again, we will provide the support that Ukraine needs, fast and reliable security support and modern weapons, on land, at sea and in the sky, economic support, and we will impose sanctions that will have a price for Russia, unquote, Sunak said. According to the published text of the agreement, in the event of a future Russian armed attack against Ukraine, countries will consult within 24 hours to determine measures needed to counter or deter the aggression. At the same time, following the signing of the agreement, the leaders of the two countries appeared to hold different views on whether it could be called an agreement on security guarantees. The media noticed that President Volodymyr Zelensky used the words security guarantees or guarantees when describing the agreement at a press conference in Kyiv. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, however, chose a different term when he spoke about the signed document, emphasizing several times that the agreement concerns security assurances. The media reminds that the phrase security assurances is problematic for Ukraine because it was used in the title of the notorious Budapest Memorandum, which was signed when Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in return for what it saw as security guarantees from the US, UK, and Russia. But in reality, the document spoke about assurances. Notably, the text of the agreement released on Friday contains neither of those terms. Instead, the document refers to security cooperation and security assistance. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Rebels in Somalia captured a UN helicopter that was carrying 4 Ukrainians and 5 citizens of other countries, reports Unian. According to the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, the helicopter crashed and people on board were captured. The crew consisted of Ukrainians. The helicopter belonged to a Ukrainian private company which was fulfilling a UN transportation contract. The names of those taken prisoner have been confirmed, and the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry works to free them. Earlier, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that 4 Ukrainian sailors have been held captive by Yemeni Houthis, and Ukraine will work to bring them back. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.